Cool. I wrote an article probably 2-3 months ago. I thought I'd do a video to accompany it. It's not quite pressed behind the neck. It's a variation which I'll show in a minute. But I thought I'd address the subject of shoulder pressing behind the neck, because it's one where there's a bit of debate. Old school bodybuilders always talk press behind the neck, increase flexibility in that area to help with things like squats, and then also hit the rear and lateral deltoid, whereas a lot of modern day athletes would probably say the complete opposite. They'd say any pressing movement, you're only hitting front deltoids. You could cause yourself problems with impingement in that area because your humerus bone in your arm is that sort of shape. So the head and neck of it goes around the acromion. So you might not have heard of the acromion, but AC joint, a lot of you might be more familiar with. So the acromioclavicular, so it's where the acromion joins with the clavicle. So it almost cups it like that, so it's angled. And they suggest that by putting the arm in that movement, you're going to end up with friction or pinching of the cartilage and have problems that way. It could be any number of sort of shoulder complaints. As I say that, Tom just moved his shoulder because Tom's recently had a shoulder operation. Fortunately, my shoulders are good. But who is right? So perhaps people of the past, bodybuilders, where they'd say press behind the neck, or more modern day athletes where they might say avoid it at all costs. Well, I'd argue both. Depends on your makeup. I've probably performed press behind the neck for 24 years and touch wood, could find some without issue. So it all depends whether you feel any discomfort in that movement. You get it with a lot of exercises. Same goes with whether you choose to use a Smith machine, barbell, dumbbells, kettlebells. It all depends. If you feel discomfort in a certain range of movement, then it's probably best not to do it. Personally, I find it fine, and I like this variation. So I work up to about 2/3 of my weight, and again, it depends on whether you find it comfortable. But it's press behind the neck, alternating with shoulder press. So I'll demonstrate it now. So I'll do it 2/3 of the weight, and I'll tend to go for higher reps. So 10 aside, the bar weighs 30 kilos, so I'll probably do like 20 plus reps. And in terms of, I mentioned rear deltoids and lateral deltoids, then yes, when you are pressing, then you are going to be hitting the front deltoid. However, press behind the neck, you're still going to be using lateral head and rear head as a stabilizer. Likewise, with me on here, where I'm moving my torso in relation to the bar, then I'm using my rotator cuff. So the whole stabilizing muscles of the shoulder joint I'm using. So I'd argue that's a fairly good exercise in terms of stabilizing the humerus in that shallow joint. So again, courses for courses, but an exercise that I certainly like.